eating will become an order when we take the dish out of that. Therefore, my first suggestion is to begin to visit slow food restaurants and let go of the fast food restaurants. After all, many of our runs are to get some food, right, shelter, and have some peace in life. So why go through a fast food restaurant and then have a time where we can just chill, be with our families. If we are at work, we can find that time to be able to have a mindful meal where we can just enjoy the aroma of the food, the colors of the food. It's always very colorful to enjoy the colors of the food, and begin to see the food as our companion, as a friend, rather than something I have to manipulate and figure it out what's right.
Our emotions, we usually behave based on our emotions. So our emotions can definitely trigger that behavior of overeating or restricting food. It could be anything from, it could be a number of things, anything from depression or anger or loneliness, even trauma issues from life, such as emotional abuse, physical abuse. I was working with a woman who struggled with overeating. That was her issue. So she had struggled with this through most of her life and realized that she was very depressed and lonely. So she would sit down, and that food that she was eating at night would give her comfort. And she had done well in parts of her life, but then got back into that same behavior and wasn't sure she wanted to give that up. So it really did give her that comfort that she was missing in her life. Anybody that has a true eating disorder, it takes a lot of work and effort to really change that behavior. But some of the simple things, just to get started, as Dr. Chaudhary said, would be to eat mindfully. So that means slowing down and really taking that time to taste your food, rather than rushing through meals, eating one thing at a time. And oftentimes if we do that, then we might eat less than really we had intended, because when we rush, we just kind of fill our mouths and we're kind of overstuffed. So really trying to slow down and then looking at how those emotions are connected to our eating. So if you're sitting down in front of the TV at night and having a bag of chips with you, what is really going on emotionally, and how are you feeling emotionally, and is that something that is comforting you? Or if you're struggling with a crisis and are not eating, or are you working through lunch because you're feeling so much stress and you're busy? So that's the other end of it too, recognizing what emotions are driving that behavior of either overeating or restricting food.
As we begin to acknowledge our emotions and become better aware of these, we then become more aware of our behaviors, which is how we are eating, as Kim was alluding to earlier. At that juncture, then comes the science of, well, what do we do now? My eating behaviors are running through whatever grocery store or meal place. I don't know what the proper food is. So we all need to recognize what foods are nourishing and caring for our body. We replace all our body in 7 years. So we have the capacity of really turning to healthy foods, which can build the blocks of healthy living. So we ourselves learn from a nutritionist who comes to our office, and she's often available for giving suggestions as to what choices to make, what colors to pick, and how to be able to go for shopping, what to look for. And she actually would even go with people and spend the day helping them make better choices. So with better knowledge, people make better choices.
I have worked with people that have been in recovery and made that change in their lives, and was able to learn different behaviors to either comfort themselves or deal with the emotions that they were feeling. So it's really learning something new. Oftentimes people don't know what else to do. That's a behavior that they've depended on for a long time. So while it's not the most healthy behavior, it serves some purpose. So people can learn to change that behavior and can get better and recover.
Similarly, there are a number of simple distraction skills or effective mindful skills that we teach people one-to-one in a group setting as well. And give you some example. If you come back home and you have donuts smiling at you and all the wonders of high-calorie food just floating around right at your face, and you really had a bad day at the office and the traffic was really terrible, the first thing you want to do is, grab onto something and eat. However, if you replace that by some healthy-looking, colorful carrots and hide those high-calorie things away, so taking those nice vegetables from the bottom bin of the refrigerator to the openness of the house, like flowers floating around, we can then have easy access to those simply healthy foods. And as we get more aware of how to create that environment of healthy food around us, then we create that environment of people who are accepting of us as we are today, rather than rejecting us. We often reject, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too ugly, I should be looking like this, all that externals. We help focus people to their internals. The beauty lies within, not outside. Accepting the way we are today is the one fundamental step that people have to take. Because if we keep rejecting ourselves as we are today, we're not going to become different anyways. We might as well accept us, love ourselves, and then begin to become knowledgeable about our behaviors and replace our behaviors by some healthy living habits.